Hello and welcome to Kyle's Kitchen. Today we're going to be making an ethnic dish with Angela Kearns, and she is going to be making pasta fagioli for us. Welcome to the program, Angela.
Hi, thanks.
And I learned about Angela through a Canton Repository article, and you are a student at Akron University.
Correct.
Tell us a little bit about that. What are you taking there?
It's a hospitality management program. I'm focusing in the culinary arts, so that's what landed me here. It's a really great program. I'm really happy to be there. All my classes are great. It's so much, the professors are just, I can't even, there aren't words. They're just so helpful. They're so knowledgeable. So it's a great program. Okay,
well, good sales pitch for Akron U's program.
Thank you.
All right, so let's get started and we'll find out a little bit more about you as we go along.
All right.
So we're taking some olive oil right now
and onion and garlic.
Okay. Now, is this a recipe that is a family recipe or just one that you like?
It's just one that I like. It's something I got from a cooking book, actually. It's a really great one. It's called The 1000 Best Recipes, and as you can imagine, it weighs about 20 pounds, so but it's got a lot of great recipes in there, and I like this one because not a lot of people do the homemade soup thing, but it's just one of the easiest things you can do, and it's one of the most rewarding things you can do. So.
And it's very hearty.
Yes, it is, absolutely. So I just need...
You're probably used to cooking with gas? Or
actually, no, I do have electric at home, but it's my stovetop is like 100 years old, so it's got the coils and everything.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that's just a tablespoon of olive oil. We're going to heat it up, and then I'll saute my onions and garlic.
Okay, and about how much of, we'll have the recipe on the website, but about how much of each of these do you have?
This is one whole onion. It's finely chopped, and it's 3 cloves of garlic minced. So.
Okay. All right, so are soups something that you make a lot on your own, or just?
I like to, because like I said, it's really, really easy. It doesn't take much time at all, and you can make a ton of it, and it doesn't cost much, so I can feed myself for like 3 weeks off of one pot of soup. So.
Okay.
All right.
So did you start cooking as a child, or more as a teenager, an adult?
As a teenager. I didn't do much as a kid. I didn't really cook with my parents or anything, but when I was a teenager, thank you, I got really interested in it, and I just self-taught a lot at home, and eventually that's what I decided I would like to do. It's something I really enjoy, and I thought, man, if I could get paid to do that for the rest of my life, I'd be set.
So what are some of the favorite things that you like to make when you have free time?
Soups, obviously. I love Italian food. I love Mediterranean cooking because they focus so much on fresh ingredients, and it's so healthful and obviously delicious. I don't know anyone who doesn't like Italian. So I think my favorite thing, though, is steak au poivre, which is just steak crusted in black pepper. And it's not difficult at all, but oh my goodness, drives me crazy.
So in the classes that you take, do they concentrate like for a while on certain ethnic foods or certain vegetarian food? I mean, how do they work? I don't even know how they would work in a school like that.
Well, what we do, there are a lot of lab classes, and the first one we take focuses a lot on the basics. I mean, they start out, they show you how to hold a knife, so like really from square one, and they focus. Yeah, we do some focusing on vegetarian and everything, but we haven't done a lot of focusing on different ethnic foods so much, but there are different courses too for like...
And then what about like baking? Is that a separate...
Yes, it is. Baking and classical desserts. I'm actually in that class this semester, so...
That sounds yummy.
It is. Trust me, it is.
And how big are the classes that you take?
They're fairly large. The way they do it is there's one lecture class, and there's, I can't imagine, probably 50 people in the lecture, but each day throughout the week there are different lab classes, and they're a little bit smaller, which means obviously the students are getting more one-on-one time with the instructor, so it's a good way of setting it up, I think.
So what's one of the best tips that you've learned so far about cooking?
Best tips. Well, one of the things I've heard one of my instructors say over and over is he watches the new students come in and they go to cook something and they crank the heat up all the way. And he says, "What are you doing?" So, and I thought it was funny because that's something I did all the time. So.
Right, because you think, okay, then I can get it started faster.
Exactly, but it's not the case. But not so many tips, I guess, as
like what about sharp knives? I mean, that's, I think, an important thing that people don't think makes a big difference, but yet it really does.
Oh, it absolutely does. Obviously, it makes everything easier, but if you've got a dull knife, you're going to cut yourself. A sharp knife shouldn't cut you because you're not going to have to try as hard to cut through your food and everything, but if you have a dull knife, I mean, you're messing with it, you're struggling, and you're going to end up cutting yourself. And when you do cut yourself with a dull knife, it's a lot worse than cutting yourself with a sharp knife. You wouldn't think so, but it is.
Now, you graduated, we didn't mention this, from Marlington High School.
Yeah, in 2006.
All right, well, that's our competition for a lot of things, but we won't hold that against you.
Thank you.
So did you grow up in this area, I mean, from the time you were a child, or?
Yep, I've lived in the same house my whole life, just a little bit north of Alliance, so yeah, been in the area 20
Do you
years.
hope to stay in the area when you graduate, or do you have ambitions to go to a bigger city? I mean, it's probably, if you want to do this kind of thing, it's probably kind of hard to stay around here.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I will probably end up leaving the area.
But maybe you could come back and open a restaurant after you have some. We could use a fine dining restaurant.
Yeah. Yes, I agree. We could use a fine dining restaurant around here. And I'm just adding my garlic now, the 3 cloves minced.
Okay. Do you have a favorite restaurant in the Kent, Akron, Canton area that you like to go to?
Well, actually, on a college student's budget,
I was going to say, it's probably hard as a college student.
Yeah, I don't eat out too much, but I do enjoy, there's one restaurant in Cleveland, actually.
Uh-huh.
It's called Majorca. It's a Spanish restaurant.
Oh, my daughter lives right above Majorca.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
She's lucky.
Yeah.
I'm envious because I've been there once, and it's amazing. Like I said,
it's very formal, you know, which you don't get so much anymore.
It is, and you know,
and the waiters are so kind and,
they are. They're
and attentive. And I think they're all male, aren't they? I don't think I've ever seen a female waitress there.
I didn't when I was there. I noticed they were very flattering when I was there as well. But yeah, like you said, it's very formal. And the funny thing about that is the first and only time I'd been there, I wasn't aware, and neither was my friend who I was with. And we walked in concert T-shirts and ripped jeans.
Oh.
So, but you know what? It was nice because they didn't look down their noses at us or anything. They just acted like nothing was out of the norm. I mean, we felt stupid, but they treated us nicely, and the food was amazing.
Yeah, it is. I don't even know if they're known for like their seafood. Is that what you think? I think they're known for.
Yeah, they're big on the seafood, but that's a Spanish thing too. So.
Okay. And I think they've been locally owned forever too. I mean, they're.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I'll stand on this side of you so they can get a better shot of you. I think we're kind of looking away there.
Okay.
So you just added some chickpeas and kidney beans, or what did you add?
They're Great Northern beans and kidney beans, but you could use whatever you wanted. That's another great thing that I love about cooking.
It's whatever you got around.
Whatever you have, whatever you want to use, that's what you do. But
Okay.
yeah, it's 2 15-ounce cans.
Okay.
And it's about probably 7 cups of the chicken broth and a couple teaspoons of dried tarragon.
So do you like watching like some of the cooking shows on cable, or?
I do, yeah.
Do you have a favorite TV chef?
I don't watch it all the time. I like Ina Garten.
My son likes
Barefoot
her.
Contessa. She's great. What I like about her is her recipes. I use them a lot. She really simplifies things, which I think a lot of people overlook when they want to get into cooking. They want to try new things, and they go, I want to try the most complicated French-sounding thing that I can possibly find. But yeah,
And then you get discouraged. I mean, if you're not familiar with cooking, and then you try something that's really hard.
And you think, I can't cook.
What about those other shows that are on now that are like, Well, I think like one's called Hell's Kitchen, and then there's another one about Top Chef or something like that. They're like competitive shows.
Yeah.
Do you like watching those? They kind of drive me crazy.
Yeah, they do. They do.
Because I feel so bad for the people, you know?
And most of them are, you know, they're established chefs. They've been through the schooling. They're successful, and then they go on that show, and the judges are saying, "What? This is garbage. What are you doing?" So, no, I don't really like to watch them that much for that reason, because it discourages me.
Okay. So we're letting that boil now?
Yeah, we're bringing it to a boil.
Okay. And then what are we going to add here?
Pasta, those are tiny shells. They're not small shells, they're tiny shells. That's probably about 6 ounces. And like I was saying earlier, it's whatever you want to do because you're cooking it. I like pasta, and I like a lot of pasta in the soup. So like I said, that's about 6 ounces, but 4 ounces would be okay too.
Okay. All right. And if you didn't have that kind of pasta, you could add whatever kind you wanted,
yeah,
correct?
anything you wanted to, or Hetty, anything you had on hand.
Okay. All right. Well, are there any other tips that you wanted to share with us? Since you're in the school right now, you might have some tips to share.
Yeah, I can't really. The only thing that I like to share with people about cooking, and what I really like to get people to understand, is that anyone can cook, and anyone can cook healthy. And it's such a big deal, especially nowadays in the United States. I mean, our diet is a huge issue. With, you know, any health issue we have, it really boils down to the diet.
Comes back to how you take care of yourself.
Exactly. The, you know, your blood pressure, cardiovascular, you know, so obesity is a big deal now in the United States too. So I think if we could just get more people to be cooking healthier and understand that they can do that.
Right. And for a lot less than it costs to eat out all the time.
Absolutely, yeah. It's so, I mean, it's so inexpensive and easy to cook at home. Like I was saying about the soup, I mean, it doesn't get much cheaper than this. It's canned beans and, you know, dried pasta.
And I noticed you use the fat-free and less sodium chicken broth to make it a little healthier.
Yeah, and it's great if you can make your own, but in my house, we just don't eat enough chicken for me to, you know, have the bits and pieces to make my own stock. But yeah, there's a lot of healthy alternatives out there, like you said, like the low sodium and the low fat. So.
Okay. All right, so your ultimate goal when you finish school, you have what, another year or so of college? So where would you like to go? What would you like to do? You'll probably have to do an internship. Yeah,
I'll have to do an internship for my last semester. After that, once I graduate, I'd like to work under a few, you know, successful established chefs. I think there's a lot to learn from experience and from people who have experience that you might not get in school. So I'd like to do that for a while, but eventually I'd like to have my own place. So, and I'd like to further my education actually in the culinary field.
Like where do you think you'd like to go?
CIA would be great. Culinary Institute of America in New York. That would be really exciting for me.
That would be big. What other ones are there? There's like Greystone, is that what it's called, out in California?
Oh man, I'm not sure.
And then there's the Pittsburgh Culinary
the Art
Institute.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of options, really not too far away.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, while we're waiting for this to boil, and then we're going to put in our pasta, and then we're going to go to our test kitchen and check it out, and pasta fagioli, right?
Great.
Okay.